everyone, welcome to biology class. We have been discussing the chapter number 3, reproduction in animals, and in the last video on YouTube we had discussed the beginning part of this chapter, that is the sexual reproduction. Today we will continue where we left in the previous video. The live classes are also going on side by side. Also we will have now onwards the YouTube classes, that will be the recorded sessions, so that you can watch them anytime as per your availability. So here we will continue the topic, that is sexual reproduction. So sexual reproduction, before that all the topics I had explained in the previous video. If you have not seen, you can watch the part 1 of this present chapter. So let us come to this. This is page number 43, you can see in your book. Also alongside you should have the book. Sometimes you have to mark some important things so that you can do that. So keep the book along with you when you are watching the videos. So here is the topic, that is sexual reproduction in animals, that is we are talking about. So a previous chapter, that is chapter 2, was about reproduction in plants, and there also is the topic of sexual reproduction in plants. So just like in the flowering plants, what is happening in flowering plants? Anther stigma are there and they are releasing the pollen grains and so on. So these are all present in the flowering plants. So in the flowering plants, male gametes and the female gametes, both of them fuse or combine together. They will fertilize and they give rise to a new offspring. This is the whole process. All details have been given in the previous videos of the chapter 2. Similar concept will apply here also. In this case of the human beings or the animals, what is there is the presence of the gametes, that is the male gametes and the female gametes. They are also called as the sex cells, the male and the female ones. So the male gamete, the male organism will produce the male gametes called as the sperm. The sperm is what? It is given in the right hand corner, we'll see just now. And in the female body, the female organism will produce the female reproductive cells or the sex cells or the gametes. They are called as the ova. So the male gametes sperm and the female gamete ova, both of them will fuse together, they will fertilize, and as a result what will happen? We will get zygote. So zygote is formed when the sperm fuses with ovum, and later on this zygote will develop into an embryo, and embryo forms the offspring. So this is the full process that is given in short in this part of this paragraph. So what is this sperm and what is this ovum? Let us see this box that is given in this side. The sperm, as I told, that is the male gamete, it is the male reproductive cell. So the sperm is the male reproductive cell, and if you observe this cell in diagram, you can see here the sperm cell is shown. So the sperm cell or the male reproductive cell, is its body is divided into 3 parts, that is head, neck and the tail. The front part is called as the head, then second part is called as the neck, and the remaining part is called as the tail. Head is having various reproductive information, next is neck, and last one is tail. Tail is helping in the movement only. Now the second type of the cell is the ovum. It is the female reproductive cell, and it is containing a nucleus in the center. You can observe the diagram. This is the ovum and it is the female reproductive cell. In the center there is a nucleus. It regulates the activity of this particular cell. So these are the 2 types of the reproductive cell that we have just now observed. Now let us see about the embryo. As I told, when the sperm fuses with the ovum, then what is formed? Zygote is formed. That means 2 cells are there. One cell is sperm, second cell is ovum. Both of them have combined together and they have made zygote. So zygote is a combination of 2 cells, sperm and ovum. Now the cell division will continue now. Means cell will start dividing and slowly the zygote will develop into a bigger embryo. Embryo is bigger, and slowly over a period of time embryo will convert or develop into the offspring of that particular species. So that animal will give birth to its offspring. But the development of the embryo is different in different kinds of animals. As we are studying about the animals, and different animals have different manner of development of the embryo. I have discussed in my live classes, but as we have not seen this topic on the YouTube, so that is why let us see this part here, how the development of embryo is done. First one, in some animals like the birds and the reptile, the embryo will grow outside the mother's body in an egg. Means like the birds lay eggs, reptiles also lay eggs. Their egg means what? Egg is actually zygote only. The zygote is forming as a result of combination or the fusion of sperm and the ova. As a result, zygote is formed. This zygote only is the egg that is laid by the birds or the reptiles. So this is an egg, that is the zygote, and this zygote will develop into an embryo. Inside the egg only it is happening, that is outside the mother's body. So the embryo is growing outside the mother's body. In which kind of animals? The birds and the reptiles. So this is the first kind we can say, that is embryo is growing outside the mother body, and egg will continue to grow and it will hatch after some time, and outside what will come, that is young one of that particular bird or reptile will come out from the egg. Next is in the cases of fishes and amphibian, that is another type of animals. So in these cases, fishes and amphibians generally they are in the water only, so their embryo develops inside the mother's body. Embryo will develop inside the mother's body only because they are living in water. They cannot directly release the zygote in the water bodies. So that is why embryo develops inside the mother's body. But it derives the nutrition from where? From the egg yolk. Means fishes also lay eggs and amphibians also lay eggs. These eggs are having a material surrounding a liquid that is present inside the egg, that is egg yolk. Egg yolk is having different nutrients, and those nutrients will be used as a food for the developing of offspring or the embryo will need some food or nourishment. That nourishment is given by egg yolk, but the embryo will develop inside the body of the mother only. In the higher animals like the cows, dogs, and also the human beings, what is happening is embryo will develop in the mother's body only, and the nourishment also will come from the mother's body. So embryo develops inside the mother's body, and nourishment also comes from the mother's body. Or the nourishment or the food is given to the embryo, that is through the umbilical cord. This you can mark there in the book. This is we can ask how the nourishment is provided to the embryo through the mother's body in animals like cows and dogs and also the human beings. The answer you will write umbilical cord. Umbilical cord is connecting the mother's body to the developing embryo, and embryo will get all the nourishment, all the nutrients or food through the umbilical cord. So these are the three types of development of the embryo. First is embryo can grow outside the mother's body. Second is embryo develops inside the body, but the nourishment will come from the egg. Second, we have seen. Third one is in the higher animals, also the human beings, embryo will develop in the mother's body. They do not lay eggs, but nourishment in this case, because eggs are not there, cows, dogs, human beings don't lay their eggs, so nourishment will not be from outside. Nourishment also will be from the mother's body, that is through the umbilical cord it is coming. So this is how the development of embryo is there. Sexual reproduction introductory part we have seen. Now we will see or learn about the sexual reproduction in human beings. In the cases of the human beings, the reproductive cells are present in separate organs, and these organs are called as the reproductive organs, or we can call them as gonads. That is male and the female gonads are there. They are the reproductive organs of human beings. In the cases of men, these organs are called testes. In the cases of females, they are called as the ovaries. Testis will produce the male reproductive cell, that is the sperm. Ovaries will produce the female reproductive cell, that is the ova. Ova is the egg only. So sperm and the ova, when both of them fuse, what is formed? Just now we have seen in the previous topic, that is zygote will form, and zygote converts into or develops into embryo. So this is the whole process. So here you have to mark this point. What are the male organs or the reproductive organ? Testis. And testis produce what? That produce sperms. This thing about the male and also about the female, you have to mark this line. That is, the female reproductive organs in human beings is ovaries, and it produces what? That is ova. Now today's video we will discuss the female reproductive system, and in the next video, that will be in the later part, in the next week, we will see the remaining part of the chapter, that is the male reproductive system we will learn. Alongside here, the fact zone, these also we will cover side by side. So here what is given is sex hormones, the reproductive system that is working. This testis is working, it is producing sperm, the ova are producing, the ovaries are producing ova. So how these reproductive cells are produced? These are working, the reproductive system is working under the influence of chemicals. Simply these sperms and ova will not produce, they are being produced because of certain special type of chemicals which are called as the sex hormones. What are the name of these hormones? The ovaries are producing two hormones. One is called as estrogen. Here O is silent here, so it is pronounced as estrogen. So ovaries produce one estrogen and second is progesterone. So these are two female sex hormones. These we can ask you in the exam questions. You can mark this one word answers, so that you don't have the problem in the exam. So the female sex hormone, two are there. One is estrogen, second one is the progesterone. In the cases of the males, the testosterone is the hormone because of which the sperms are produced through the testis. So the testis will work because of the testosterone, that is a sex hormone or the male sex hormone. Next, now we'll continue to the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system is divided into various parts. First is ovaries, second is oviduct, third is uterus, and last one, that is vagina. Four parts are there. The diagram also we will observe alongside when we will read. So the first part, that is the ovary. These are two whitish oval bodies, whitish colored and these are oval in shape, where they are present in the abdominal cavity. So these are the structures you can see in the diagram. Here you can notice ovaries are present on both sides, left and the right side, and these are oval in shape, almost oval in shape, and they are present just nearby the abdominal cavity. Inside this ovary, what is there? Inside this there are certain group of cells. Those cells are called as follicles. Here it is not clear, it is F. So that there are certain group of cells called as follicles, and through these follicles only egg is produced. And what is the number in the case of human being? That is one egg, only one ovum, one mature ovum will develop or produce after every 4 weeks in these follicles, and it is done alternatively. As you can see here, left and right side, two sides ovum cannot be produced together. Ovaries are present on both the sides, left and the right. So alternatively, one time the left ovary will produce ovum, next time right ovary will produce ovum. So like this, after every alternative 4 weeks, one mature ovum is produced through the ovaries. So the structure you have to remember, it is whitish color, oval shape, where it is present in the abdominal cavity. Inside the ovaries, what is there? It is a group of cell called follicles, and what is produced from the ovaries is mature ovum, or the egg is produced. After how much time? After every 4 weeks, and it is alternate, that is one at a time is produced from the ovaries. Next is oviduct. After the ovum has been released, after the egg has been released, so it will move forward and it will go to the oviduct. Oviduct is a funnel shaped muscular tube. So it is a tubular structure through which the ovum will pass. Also, it is also called as the fallopian tube. So this is a rather more important. What is the another name of oviduct? It is fallopian tube, and it will pass the egg into the uterus. It is not having any special function, only it provides a pathway through which the egg may proceed forward. That is its function. So you can see ovum is here, and from here you can see here a tubular structure is present. Let me zoom in here. So here you can see this tubular structure is there, where I am drawing this line. So this is the duct or the tubular structure, which is called as the oviduct. On the next side, left side also you can see. So both sides, this is a tube that is present, and what it is doing, it will provide the pathway through this tube only. The egg that is released from the ovaries, it will move forward, and where it will reach? It will reach the uterus. Uterus is in the central part of the reproductive system. Let us see this now in details. That is given here. What is uterus? It is a thick wall, pear-shaped, muscular, hollow organ. Yes, it is. It is a bag-like structure. Hollow organ means empty from inside, and it is a muscular structure. It is having which shape? Pear shape. You can notice here, this is the uterus, and it is having pear shape, and it is having a thick wall outside. You can observe thick wall is there. What is its purpose? We will see in details in the upcoming topics. So that is about the uterus. Where it is present? It is in the lower abdomen. Upper abdomen, we have just now observed, that is ovaries are present where? In the upper abdomen, in the abdominal cavity. But uterus, that is in the lower abdomen. And also below the uterus, now what is there? As we continue below the uterus, there is a small opening that is called as the cervix. So at the end of the uterus, there is an opening that is called as the cervix, and after that is the last part of the reproductive system that is called as the vagina. Vagina is the muscular tube, it is a wide muscular tube, and it will serve as the opening through which the sperms may enter the female reproductive system. So it receives the sperms, and also the child or the offsprings may take birth through this. It is the birth canal through which the mature baby or the offspring is delivered through the mother's body. So this is the last part of the female reproductive system. We'll put a tick here. This is, you have to draw this diagram. This will be your homework for this week, to draw and label and learn this parts of the reproductive system of the females. One extra point is given about the enrichment here. Puberty. What is puberty? When we talk about puberty, that means it is a particular age at which the reproductive system is mature enough. These reproductive cells we have talked about, just as we have talked about the sperm and the ova, these are produced, but they will start producing at the age of puberty. This age is generally between 12 to 14 years, and it is different in males and females. So we will learn about puberty in the upcoming chapters. So it is the age at which the female reproductive cells are starting to develop or to be produced. So let us now see, after having observed the female reproductive system, we will now see the functions that are performed by various parts of the female reproductive system. First is ovary. As we already have seen, they produce egg, and two hormones are related, that also I told you just before only, estrogen and progesterone. So these two hormones will be responsible for the ovaries to function properly, that is, they are producing eggs. So this production of eggs is regulated, or this is controlled because of the estrogen and the progesterone hormone levels in the female's body. Also, it is responsible for the puberty that is attained by the girls. Next is oviduct. Oviduct is the tube, and it is the pathway only, as I told you, and also the fertilization of the egg will take place here. That is, if the sperm is released by the female reproductive system, sperm from the that is the male cell, if it enters the female reproductive system, then the fertilization between the sperm and the ova, that will take place inside where? Inside the oviduct only, inside the fallopian tubes. Oviduct are also called as fallopian tubes, if you remember. Next is uterus. Uterus is what? It will be a room that is a muscular hollow bag. So why is it hollow? So that in case fertilization has taken place and zygote is formed, so the embryo will develop there. That is, the offspring will develop there. So a uterus will it will serve as a room for developing embryo. Next one is cervix. It is the lower part of the uterus, and it is just it just serves as the opening to the vagina. It connects the uterus to the vagina. Next one, last one, is vagina. It is the opening through which the sperms are released, and also it is the birth canal. So these points already I have explained earlier when we have seen the structure of the different parts of the female reproductive system. Let us see the last part of this female reproductive system, then we will end the video. Ovulation and menstruation. So after attaining puberty, after that certain age in the females, one mature egg is released. From where egg is released? That is ovaries. And how it is done, and after how many days it is done? Generally it is released on an average after every 28 days. So because it is having an average number of days, that is 28 days, this 28-day cycle is called as the menstrual cycle, and the process of releasing of the egg or the ovum is called as the ovulation. Ovulation is the process of releasing of the ova or the egg from the female's body, and it is done after every 28 days, or this we can say 28-day cycle on an average. This is called as the menstrual cycle. Now here below they have shown this full menstrual cycle in the diagram form. This diagram also you have to draw. That is again one more diagram for you to draw. That is also your homework for this week. So you will draw this diagram. All the labeling A, B, C and D part are given. That is telling the various steps of ovulation and menstruation. So this also you have to write. So rather than, I suggest you don't draw this diagram. Rather than make a flow chart and only write the points A, B, C and D. Don't draw the diagram, only make a flow chart, and in between you can make arrows. Like you will write A part, then make one arrow, then again you write B part, then make one arrow, then likewise C and also the D. Again it will be connected all through arrows you have to make in between. Central part of the diagram, that is female reproductive diagram, already you are drawing, so don't draw that in this here. So this diagram heading you will write as ovulation and menstruation in case of human females. I hope it is clear to you. So let us see this as, in details now. And the menstrual cycle, I told, it is a 28-day cycle. It is repeating after almost every 28 days. So just before the release of the egg, that is the ovum, what is happening is the wall of the uterus, it will become thick and there will be increased supply of the blood. For what? So the uterus is doing what? It is responsible for development of embryo. So it is preparing itself in case fertilization has taken place. So it will help in the development of embryo. So that is why the inner wall of the uterus will become thick and the blood supply will increase there. But in case the egg is not fertilized, then what will happen? This inner lining of the uterus, that is called as endometrium, it will break down because fertilization has not taken place. So it will break down and the blood supply that was increased there, that will lead to the rupture of the tissue, and that means the tissue will break down and the blood will start flowing and it is discharged outside through the vagina. This process is called as the menstruation and it will generally last 3 to 5 days. This is the full process. Again, I'll repeat. First of all, egg is released after 28 to 30 days. Every month it is happening. This is called ovulation. After that ovulation, what will happen? That is, mature egg will move towards the oviduct, that is the fallopian tube. After that, next part, in the fallopian tube, if the fertilization has taken place, that will convert into zygote and embryo will develop in the uterus of the mother's body. But if the embryo has not developed, if the fertilization has not taken place, then what will happen? In that case, the inner wall of the uterus, it will get ruptured and blood will start flowing through the vagina. The process is called as menstruation. And again, the female reproductive system gets ready for ovulation after a period of next 28 to 38 days, 28 to 30 days. So this process keeps on repeating. Alternatively, it is done through both the ovaries. 2 ovaries are there. So this is all we have seen till page 45 we have covered in this video. In the next video we will be discussing about the male reproductive system. So this is one more extra point, that is enrichment is given, menstruation. This is already I have explained. One more point, extra point that is required here is generally the age of puberty 12 to 13 years is there. This is the age at which the female reproductive system releases ova, and it continues generally up to approximately up to the age of 50 years. And when the egg stop producing or releasing in the women's body, then this stage is called as the menopause. So menstruation will stop after that. So this is an extra point that is given here. In the next video, they will be discussing the male reproductive system. So that is all for this present video. Thank you.